So the other day I saw this advertised on eBay and I thought, I'm going to have it. And it looks to me to be what was known as a Rhodie Preamp. And there was lots of manufacturers that created their own little preamps for stage pianos because it made such a big difference to the sound. And this one, quite interestingly, has all been painted black, so you can't tell what components they've used. I find that a really interesting way that they've protected their intellectual property this way. Obviously you could buy one of these and reverse engineer, but the amount of effort it would go into it goes a lot higher. And there's also always going to be an element of doubt. Now, I did find a schematic for these before and made my own versions. One thing I find odd is that I didn't even try and protect the bottom of the board. So I wonder why they did that and not both sides. I think that would have made it a lot harder. But, oh well. So my piano's already got a preamp. So I need to think of a way of incorporating this into my setup without being too destructive. So I found some L channel that looks quite nice, and it's kind of got similar features to the front of the Fender Rhodes piano, and I'm going to use that to kind of build in the preamp. And then around it I'm going to create like a 3D printed case, and this is a little square at the minute, so we'll round it off and make it look a lot nicer. And then we can build this to be like a standalone unit. We can plug it in, we can use an external power source, we don't need to worry about batteries, and this should make it look a lot nicer. And I quite like the curved corners. It's kind of got like a weird 80s, 70s style to it, which I think suits the piano really well. So all we need now is a lid for the bottom. We'll put some screws in, and I think that's going to work pretty well. You knew I was going to do this. So let's print it out. Now I've got some lovely shiny purple. This is exciting. And once more, I really like that I can just throw together a quick design and then overnight leave it printing, and we have this. It's faster than the postman, it's custom designed, it's really cool. If you're interested in learning more about 3D printing, drop us a comment and I might make a video on it and cover that in the future. But yeah, that's done, and then pop, here we go, let's get it built up. So I've created this front rail, and this is something I just got from a local hardware store. And I've drilled some holes in that are approximately in the right space so we can slide in the preamp and just screw it all together. I do really like the concentric knobs, but these are pretty hard to get hold of, so my recreations don't feature this. It's just a lot cheaper and easier to use single potentiometers. I want to do as minimal damage or change to the actual board as possible, so I'm just going to use a battery clip, and that allows us to power up the unit externally. You have to be careful because we're switching the polarity when we clip it into that clip. I've put an input jack on the back and an LED on the front just so we can see the power, the unit's got power. I always like to see some kind of visual indication that something's turned on. And then we just screw it together, and then we have a nice standalone preamp that we can compare to other preamps. It does need some rubber feet to finish it off, doesn't it? That's going to make it look beautiful. So let's get it plugged in and see what it sounds like. So we've got a volume control, and then the concentric controls. The smaller one is the treble, and then the bass. But in summary, it's a nice little preamp. I like that I've made it standalone. Is it special? I wouldn't say it really shines compared to the Retro Flyer, so I'll be definitely leaving that in my piano. But I can definitely see why, if you had a stage model and had one of these Rhodie preamps available at the time, of how it would make such a big difference to your setup. You can tailor the bass, the treble, the volume, and also by playing with the volume relative to the treble and bass, you do get a mid control. But yeah, that's it for this time.